Welcome to Long-Term Reviews, where products are tested in the real world and put to the test of time. I'm your host, Rob Long. In this episode, we will be reviewing the Central Machinery 10-ton hydraulic manually operated log splitter. Let's start off with a brief overview of the most notable specs. It accepts logs up to 18 inches long and up to 6.5 inches in diameter. The logs must be a minimum of 13.5 inches in length for this machine to function properly due to the relatively short 8 1/16 inch maximum stroke of its ram. It boasts a splitting force of 10 tons and has a shipping weight of 97 pounds. This is no lightweight. I have personally been using this machine for 9 months. I would say the overall construction is very good. Everything is constructed of heavy gauge steel with strong, even welds throughout the machine. The unit comes pre-assembled and ready to go right out of the box. Simply insert the 2 handles and you're ready to start splitting. As far as portability goes, it has 2 small plastic wheels at the back of the machine. And although they are indeed wheels, when you're moving the machine, especially over rough terrain, it can still feel like you're just dragging it along. It has 2 pump handles, one on the right for power and one on the left for greater speed. Always remember to tighten the pressure release valve before use. When pumping the right handle, you're exerting the greatest force with the least amount of effort, but it works slowly, about 1/8 of an inch per pump. The left handle is faster at 1/4 inch per pump, but requires more pumping force on your part. It's best to start with the right handle, then once the split is started, move on to the faster left handle. Or you can pump both handles together for the fastest speed of 7/16 of an inch per pump. Now to split some logs. I'll start off with something easy. This log is around 5 inches in diameter. Begin by pumping both handles simultaneously to quickly snug the log into position. Once you feel it takes too much force to pump both handles at the same time, use the right handle to split the log with ease. If you're splitting logs of similar length, make sure that when you release the pressure to reverse the ram, that you don't go all the way back to its starting position. Otherwise, you'll have to pump a great number of times to move it back into contact with the next log. When you're splitting very small logs or splitting an already split piece a second time, it's sometimes possible to make the split using both handles at once for speed. Now for something bigger. This log is larger than the manufacturer's recommended maximum size of 6.5 inches. And measures almost 9 inches across. Notice the small branch coming out of this log. It's important to place anything protruding from the log upward, or it can hang on the metal supports and bend them like seen here. If it seems way harder to pump than it should, always make sure that nothing is hung up on these supports. Despite this log being larger than the manufacturer's recommended maximum size, the log splitter has no trouble at all splitting this round. It didn't take much effort on my part, but if you're using this machine to split logs for an hour or two, it can still be a bit of a workout. Also bear in mind that the logs I've been using in these examples up until now have been of a fairly soft variety of wood, similar to the density of pine. But now let's put this splitter to a real torture test. This log breaks all the rules. It's 12 inches in diameter and shorter than the recommended minimum. On top of all that, it's oak. This will really put the machine through its paces. I'm using a block of wood between the ram and the log to make up for its shorter than minimum required length. After several very difficult pumps without the log splitting, I noticed the ram was actually pushing its way into my wood block. After that fail, I decided to remove the wood block and see if there was just enough stroke left in the ram to split this round. After several pumps, it became extremely hard to pump the handle a full throw, but I wasn't giving up. Either the machine was going to break or the log was. Stability of the machine was becoming an issue, with the log making it very top-heavy. It finally split with only one pump left before the ram maxed out. After that, I was able to use my wood block again to make up for the distance and finish the split. The hardest part of the splitting process is the initial split. Once it's been split the first time, splitting the pieces again becomes much easier. Although it took some improvisation, the log splitter passed this torture test without failing, which says a lot about its build quality. I have personally split about 3 ricks of firewood with this machine without any issues since purchasing it over 9 months ago. Now for the pros and cons, starting with the cons. It's quite heavy and can be a bit cumbersome to move around. Its lack of any kind of stand means it's very low to the ground, so you'll need to bend over many times during its operation to place logs onto the machine. When placing larger diameter logs onto the machine, it can have a tendency to become unstable due to its narrow base. Now for the pros. It works as advertised and goes above and beyond its listed capabilities. Its simplicity. There's no electric or gas motor to break down or maintain, and since it's manually powered, the cost of operation is zero. Value for money. It's a very capable machine at a small fraction of the cost of a gas engine operated machine. All products featured on long-term reviews are given a rating of 1 to 5 stars. 5 stars means it's highly recommended, 1 star means you should probably run very far away. For the Central Machinery 10-ton manual hydraulic log splitter, I give it 4 stars. If you have a lot of wood to split and would like to make the job a little easier without breaking the bank, this might just be the machine for you. And that is it for this episode. You can find links to all the products reviewed on this channel in the description below. And if you enjoyed this content, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And until next time, I will see you in the next long-term review. Thanks for watching.